Hello, Medium. Uh, this is a message for the Medium editors and managing staff. My name is Caston Evans. I was a writer on your website for a very long time. I was one of your well-read writers. I had over 1 million reads, and I had a great many followers. I was kicked off of Medium for my language and my putridity, basically. But I would like to first apologize, first and foremost, for all of that. And second, appeal for a second chance. And I would like to, with that appeal, offer an explanation. Although my language was inexcusable, and I do understand that, the explanation is that I was a widow and grieving, and living so far away from home, about 2,000 miles in a major city on a different coast. When I lost my partner of 10 years, Jaren, the love of my life, it was a devastating experience, and it happened just immediately, unfortunately enough, before COVID. Weeks. In fact, I was in a grief bubble and didn't understand why people were wearing masks when I finally came outside of it. Jaren's demise was awful because none of our family are here. We moved out here alone. And we couldn't travel. Family couldn't come to see us. We couldn't get so much as a hug from a neighbor because of social distancing rules, stigma, and fear for the first 6 months. And I miss him every day. But that pain, that my world was ending and that nobody else's world was ending, made me resent it when everyone else's world was more or less ending with COVID. And then they demanded of me changes and actions to be taken and reforms to be put into place for the good of all, but because I was grieving and a widow, and because I felt that that was not fair, and also because there was no justice in Jaren's case or resolution to it, a case which is still unresolved. I felt it. I resented it. I felt to myself, who are you to tell me to put a mask on my face and to move it up 1 inch before you'll speak to me, and then ignore everything I have to say all over again? Why should I change one iota of my world when your world is ending, when you wouldn't lift one finger for me when mine was? And that resentfulness came out. It was inexpressible because I didn't put it like that, because I didn't see it like that then. But it was also inexcusable, and I do understand that. It was inexpressible, and therefore it came out in my writing. My writing became acidic and caustic, offensive, almost purposely offensive. And I'm deeply sorry. And I would also like to say I apologize for every person I've offended, every person that I had perturbed, and I'm deeply, deeply ashamed of it. I'm mortified, actually. And I know Jaren, if he were here right now, would also be very disappointed with me. That because of him and in his name, more or less, I was being rude to other people. That's not what he would want me to do. But because I was grieving alone, I had no community of support around me to remind me of that, to put even an arm on my shoulder. It was an abnormal set of circumstances which led to an abnormal grieving process. One that took years before it finally began to come down to a sense of normalcy. I've grown a lot since then. I've grown at leaps and bounds, and the lessons I've learned from that experience are worth sharing with the world. When you dropped my account from Medium, you erased 10 years of my work history on the internet with nothing to point to. People think I'm lying to them when I say that I've written these great articles. And although I have those articles, it's not really feasible for me to put them up on the internet fast enough for me to restore that 10-year career. But you can. I'm finding it difficult to find work, difficult to maintain a job, difficult to find anything that is worth my salt and sulfur, and making rent is hard. And keeping a roof over my head is hard. And putting food on my table is hard. Even if it's just me and our cat. I say our cat because Jaren had him first. Sebastian. It's actually right here. And so, although I know I do not deserve it, and I know that your decision, you said at the time, was final, I ask you very kindly, with good faith, with wholeheartedness and full-throatedness, and with assurances of my commitment to maintaining the quality and the standard of the articles that I was writing before 2020, I ask you for clemency. I ask you to please reinstate me, or at least to please reconsider reinstating me. My phone number is 253-234-7276. You can please call me, and I will not miss the call. And I apologize about all the missed emails. I didn't check that email account very often. I used a different email account for most of my professional writing stuff, but that's the one I signed up for. And I apologize for that error. That was an oversight in my own judgment, or else I would have addressed this with you much sooner, right at the first email. And I am so very deeply sorry about my negligence. That will not happen again. And so I'm asking you for a second chance. And how many of us would be where we are today if we weren't given one of those ourselves? But my life and my future look very dismal. And it's not very fair or just. And it is my own doing. But I know that I don't deserve it. I'm asking you to please show me a saving grace. And if you would be so magnanimous and gracious enough to do so, to please reconsider reinstating me to Medium. And I will meet whatever requirements you have to do so, or restrictions, in order to have my articles restored. Or at least please just restore my articles, and you can even pick which ones. But I need to have a career, or I'm going to suffer. And so I'm asking you on proverbial bended knee. I've grown, matured, and I've learned a lot about grief, because it is the price that we pay for love. And I loved Jaren very much. And so, I'm asking you very kindly and very wholeheartedly, and with a contrite heart, to please consider my request. Please reach out to me as soon as you can, and I thank you very much for watching this video, or for reading the email that accompanies it. May you all have a wonderful day. Take care.